Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, uh, just in case. And if it doesn't work, then I'm going to close it out. In the meantime, um, okay, I don't need you. There we go. In the meantime, let's go back to our 50 questions. Woo! Good old 50 questions. Um, let's see. I believe uh, that I answered question 11 last. What game did I last complete? And I talked about Persona 5 for a while. Moving on to the next two questions. Because why not? This is always something to do, something that's fun, and something that can keep me talking, which apparently is good for streams. But yeah. What game are you playing right now? Um, I assume that it's not speaking literally, but generally speaking. There's a few games that I'm playing right now, and that's always the case. Because I always like dabble in like 10 different games at the same time and just kind of go in between them. But as far as like games that I'm really playing right now, I've talked about this before, but Hitman 2 specifically. Although I did download the Legacy pack, so I can also play through Hitman 1 within that game. That one's really fun. It's really slow, really methodical, but you can get some funny moments when you play it, and it's a lot of fun. Um, Otherwise, I'm wanting to play through Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I've played it a couple times so far. And I do like it. There's just like this weird thing that there's nothing really to the game that's bringing me back in. Like, I kind of enjoy the combat, I kind of enjoy the world, I kind of enjoy the characters. Okay, I do enjoy the characters actually. Um, it's weird because like that game has RPG mechanics that are meant to be turn based, but it's putting it in a real time strategy setting, which is super weird. And it makes it so that I have to do these like lightning fast decisions um, that are like kind of complex and kind of pivotal. There was also this like boss fight that I got into recently where it was giving me like these ice effects or whatever, and I had no idea what was going on. Like it hit me, and then 5 seconds later, I would die, or something, or like a few seconds later, it would do more damage. And after I learned that, I would block it, but it was so hard to figure out like why that was happening, where I was getting hit at. Um, and just yeah, it was the kind of thing where if it was a turn-based setting, I probably would have won because I would have had more time to digest and understand what was happening. But because it was a real-time action battle, it was really difficult to be like, oh yeah, this is what it is, this is what's happening. um, but yeah, otherwise, I'm always playing Dead by Daylight, always playing some Smash. Uh, there aren't very many Nintendo games right now that I'm really playing. I want to get back into Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I got that for Christmas this year, and I want to keep playing it because that is a fun, chill game. Um, be a good game to stream, actually. Now I think about it. Although I'd have to start over, but it would be a decent one to stream. Um, let's see. I recently got Jedi Fallen Order, um, which is that the full name? Yeah, I think it is something like that. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, like that. That's probably the full title or whatever. That's a good game. It's really fun. It's jank. It is jank as heck. Um, but it is a lot of fun. Going around and slashing people with lightsabers and having the challenge be kind of difficult. Like enemies are a bit challenging. Of course, I am playing it on the equivalent of hard mode, which I'm kind of glad that I'm doing. It can be frustrating at times, but and obviously there's nothing stopping me from making it easier. But I've always been a fan of those kind of difficult games. Excuse me. Which again is ironic because, if I don't get it on the first or second try, I get frustrated with the game, and if I don't get it on the fifth or sixth try, then I'm very tempted to rage quit. Well, okay, it's not rage quitting. I'm just tired of losing. Whoa, hey! There we go. Okay, good. Oh, okay. I'm glad that it was actually, thinking and stuff. That's good, that's good. Okay, let's take a look at what this is. Okay, that's interesting. Rig is humanoid. Avatar definition. Create from this avatar. Okay, that's all well and good. This had better not take another 5 minutes. I have a feeling it will, though. Okay, I'm going to look up how to do this properly. Here, I found a Blender forum. Just finished an animation and I wish to export to Unity. I know the workflow in Maya but not in Blender. I have not found any recent tutorials. How to do it? ? I guess I'll have to bake it, export the armature, mesh, and animation, but how do you do these things in advance? Just save the project when you have the keyframes and your animation fully done. Then in Unity, import a new asset and choose the blend file. When you click the imported object in the folder structure, you'll have 3 tabs in the inspector. One of them will be animations. You can then cut the animations to your liking and control them with the animation controller. For a detailed guide on the animations in Unity, just watch the animation controller documentation from Unity's guide series. Seems to work better when I export to FBX myself, rather than dropping the blend file into my assets. For some reason, when using the blend assets, I only get one animation called a default take. When using the FBX file, I get them all and even some doubles. Not that everything works very smoothly and reliably, though. Today, for some reason, it decided to scale my object up 100 times. That didn't happen yesterday, so I don't know what's going on. Are you using the action editor? Yes, I am. I'm marking everything as fake user. If you do that rather than mess with the NLA editor, it should come out correctly. As for SPX scaling, you can fix in the import settings. Blender binary. Okay, so there's a couple things here. I'm tempted to try and, because okay, there were 2 things here. One was if I import just the .blend file, then apparently it works, but it only imports a single animation, which is interesting. But somebody also said that maybe it works fine. And then there was also the, hey, if you do use FBX, then it imports everything, not just those animations, which, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. Also, I'm going to reset this again, just because it's bothering me. Stop. Okay, there we go. And just so I can be looking over, like when I look at my second monitor, which ironically is not where my camera is, then I'll be looking at you guys. And then when I'm looking at my desktop, my avatar looks like I'm looking at the desktop. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to let this continue. There's something wrong here. I don't know what it is. There's something wrong. But I'm going to let it continue and answer some of these questions and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, okay. What game do you want to play next? Well, I mean, I'll say that I'm always interested in playing whatever's new, which is kind of, it's interesting, because that kind of means that there's not a lot of games that I stick with, but I'm always looking forwards to the new thing, because I always want to stay on top of things, but I don't have enough time to complete every game that I purchase, and yeah. So, but what game do I want to play next? I'm looking forward to when Cyberpunk is actually good, if it ever does get good. Get good, scrub. Let's see. There's one on my Switch called Spiritfarer. That's a game that I have had for a while. Like ever since it was released, I bought it day one, and I haven't touched it yet. And I have heard fantastic things about that game. So yeah, that's one that I want to get into. Let's see. I want to keep playing the Kingdom Hearts series. I've never actually played through them, and I'm like part of the way through the first game now. Because like a couple years ago, one of my best friends got me like the entire series. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're fantastic! Thank you! Oh my gosh!" Yeah. There's the Control game for PlayStation and other things, of course. I want to get back into Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I played like the first few hours of that game, and I obviously really enjoyed it. But then I went back to the original Spider-Man game remastered, and I played through that, and now I'm playing through the DLC of that game, because I'm kind of wanting to finish out that story before I start again on Miles Morales. But Miles Morales is still pretty dang good. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that I'm looking forward to playing. As far as games that are not out yet, we got a few actually. Let's see. There's Persona 5 Strikers that's coming out this month. There's Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which comes out next month. There's also Monster Hunter Rise, which comes out next month. There's some game in March that I'm really looking forward to, but I forgot what it is. There's Guilty Gear Strive, which is coming out all the way in May. I do want to get into the Guilty Gear series, and that seems like a good starting off point. Yeah, that's kind of it right now. I mean, I'm looking for like Pokemon Snap and all that, but that's well, actually, no, Pokemon Snap is coming up soon. That might be the March thing I was thinking of. But yeah, there's a few games I'm looking forward to. So yeah. All right, next one. In your opinion, what is the best games console? Probably gaming console is what they meant. I don't know. Oh goodness. See, here's the problem. It's saying what is the best gaming console, not which is my favorite, but which is the best. Animation came in. I'm gonna answer this question first. The best one? Okay, it's honestly a tie between PS5 and Xbox Series X. If you want to say best in its time, that's a different story. But currently, the best console out there right now is one of those two. And it really just comes down to which do you care about most? Do you care about processing power, loading times, and all that, or do you care about exclusives? Do you care? Do you care about like good games you can only find on a certain console? In that case, it is the PlayStation 5. At the same time, the Switch is also a good runner because not only is it, you know, Nintendo's baby that has a ton of amazing Nintendo games on it, multiple 10 out of 10 games, um, but it's also portable and also a home console, and of course, you know, that's the entire gimmick of the Switch. But that's still an amazing thing that you literally can't get anywhere else. And so to be able to take a console wherever you want and to play these high-end games wherever you want, like, I understand that you can do that with the cloud and stuff, but you have to have a good internet connection for some of those. But like, I can play Doom 2016 on my Switch on an airplane or whatever, and that's crazy. That's crazy. So honestly, I can't say which is the best because every single console, even if you want to go like best in its time, every single console, minus a few key exceptions, have their arguments. I mean, and the exceptions being stuff like the Virtual Boy and the Wii U to an extent, although I did enjoy the Wii U, but I don't think it's the best console of its time by any regard. I did enjoy the Wii U though, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, we have something to more or less entertain. Yeah. Okay. Are PC gamers really superior to console players? No. I mean, okay. I mean, they're different, and I will say this. PC gamers, when they like actually put time and effort into making their PC good, like they do put more work into having the best gaming experience. That is all that I will say. I do not think that PC gamers are superior to console gamers. I don't think console gamers are lesser than PC gamers. I think that everybody, even like, I think as long, okay, let me see. I'm trying to define what a gamer is. A gamer is somebody who plays games, obviously. And I'm not really going to get into like what a true gamer is because that requires a ton of nuance that I'm not going to get into at the moment. But basically, if you enjoy playing games and you do play games, no matter what form they might take, you are considered a gamer. Does that mean that if somebody who only plays Angry Birds on their phone, are they a gamer? Technically, yes. The issue and the thing that always comes up though is like some people will say, well, no, they're not. But then, you know, where do you draw the line? You know, that's always the question. And you could say like, oh, well, mobile games aren't real games or whatever. Or you could say like, oh, console games aren't real games or whatever. Or if you don't put over 500 hours into Skyrim, then you're not a true gamer. Like, there are a million different ways that you can cut this cake. And really, because of that, there isn't really a good place to cut it. Therefore, you need to get the biggest slice possible so that nobody is left out of the equation. Because as soon as somebody is going to be wrong or right or whatever. Well, okay, not right. Somebody is going to be wrong, somebody's going to be upset. Therefore, I really do think that anybody who plays any sort of game and enjoys it, as long as like they keep as long as they enjoy it and they keep coming back to it, and they want to keep coming back to playing games, if at least eventually, then I would consider themselves a gamer. In the same way that if you ever have read a book and you enjoy reading books and you intend to read books again at some point, I would consider yourself a reader, you know? Now, now obviously, a reader is different from a book lover, and at the same time, a gamer is somebody that different from a game lover, or a, like, what some people would call a quote unquote true gamer. There are differences in levels between like who is like how much into you are, how much you are into a certain thing, or how I would like to call nerdy levels or nerdiness levels. But yeah, that went on a tangent there, but that's all right. Okay, next, what's your opinion on Fortnite? Because of course this had to come up. I actually like saw it coming, and I'm like, oh boy. Okay, so here's the thing about Fortnite. It's not a bad game. It's not. It's really not. Like, as much as people want to hate on it, it's not a bad game. The fact that it's done what it's done is honestly incredible. I cannot short it for that. However, I do think that it is not the best of its kind. I think it is the most ambitious. I think it is obviously the most popular. I do not think that it is the best or most well-designed battle royale game that exists. It is good, and here's the other thing. And then this is I was talking to a friend about this the other day, actually. But this is kind of an unfortunate thing for really any online game. So, in order to keep people coming back to playing online games, there need to be multiple systems in place so that they can keep on improving themselves. What this means is that you need to have like multiple systems and stuff, so many, so that players cannot grasp all of them all at once, and they can't understand them all at once, and especially not at first. That way they keep coming back, they keep on improving themselves, and they keep on trying. And that's the goal of online games, is to keep them coming back, keep on improving, keep on trying, keep on having fun. So, but because of that, most, if not all, online games have terrible tutorials. Like, and say what you want about any kind of specific game, 90% of the stuff that I have played and tried, I have to either look it up on how to do it properly, or I have to have a friend with me in order to properly understand and actually play the game and have fun with it. And you could argue, well, that might be intentional because, you know, you will want to play this game with friends or whatever. But you know, what if it's the sad scenario that I don't have any friends, you know? Or like, I mean, I could watch YouTubers, I guess. But okay, in any case, it's the same thing with Fortnite. I recently tried to get into Fortnite again. I played it at one point, and I played a few games of it. It was fine. Gosh dang it. But I wanted to try to get back into it recently, and I did not have a good time with it. I honestly didn't. And the reason is that I booted it up. I was greeted with a million different things at first off, and none of it told me how to play the game. It was all stuff of like, you can buy this. This is happening right now. And then I was like, okay, well, how do I play the game? So I had to navigate menus. And eventually, because I have played this game before, I did just go into solo mode, because I didn't want to like embarrass any of my teammates. Uh, and I know that it's a like I know how to play Fortnite, so to speak. Um, but like I don't know how to get like okay. So I went around, I was picking up weapons, I was getting items and stuff, and I was walking around, and then all of a sudden I got shot at and I died in a matter of like a few seconds. So I tried again. I booted it up, I went around, I was collecting weapons, and I saw some guys in the distance. I tried to shoot them down, I was not killing them, and then I died. Uh, and yeah, and it was at that point that I'm like, I'm done. So I might try it again at some point, but I didn't have a good experience with it. And if somebody was there to help me along and stuff, maybe it would have been better. And they could have told me like, oh yeah, this you need to watch out for this thing. We should go here. Like, there's so many nuances and things to absorb and know that you need to know in order to play the game well and have a chance at doing at least somewhat well, that it never seems worth playing. I don't know. But it is a good game. It is good. It's just I had a bad time with it, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one. So anyway, okay.